Rock fans and rock musicians from all spectrums today are mourning the loss of Sam Rivers, an icon of nu metal if you're a fan of the genre, a guy who played on those amazing songs like My Way and Rearranged and Nookie. And if you're an old school fan like myself, songs like Counterfeit. But there's really no one who people would want to hear from more than, of course, Limp Bizkit frontman Fred Durst. And he had a lot to say. He goes into some stuff I never heard about the origins of Limp Bizkit and his friendship with Sam Rivers. So without any interruption, I'm just going to play you what Fred Durst posted just now on Instagram.
Sam Rivers, the legend, truly. Such a gifted, unbelievably sweet and wonderful person. And, how I met Sam was I'd put a couple iterations of an idea of a band I was, trying to make happen in Jacksonville, Florida. I had this idea and vision for this particular type of, style and sound, and I just couldn't get it together right. And so I decided I'm going to go out and find the right players to do this and bring this thing together. And I'd gone into this little tiny bar, pub where this band was playing at Jack's Beach called Pier 7. And there Sam was on the stage with his band, killing it on the bass. And I went, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing. And in my mind, it was you had to start with the rhythm section, the bass and the drums, and didn't know who I was going to meet first to put this idea together. Didn't know if it'd be the drummer or the bass player, but it was the bass player. I saw Sam play and I was blown away. He's playing a 5-string bass too. I'd never really seen someone using a 5-string bass, and he was so smooth and good, and he stood out, and I could hear nothing else but Sam. Everything disappeared besides his gift. And I went up to Sam after the show and I said, hey man, you're unbelievable. I got this idea for this band I want to do, and kind of threw it out there and told him what I wanted it to be. And he looked at me and he says, Killer, I'm in. Let's do it. I was like, oh my God. Well, let's do it. And, that's kind of how things started to come together. I had a bass player. And after me and Sam been jamming around and messing around for a bit, I started looking around for other players and things. And Sam said, well, my cousin John's a killer drummer. He's a jazz drummer. He should jam with us. And I said, well, jazz would be great because it'll give us that kind of beat we want, that kind of, that swag. And so I met I met John through Sam, and saw that John had the thing. He had it, so me, John, and Sam are jamming in Sam's garage. I'm playing the guitar at the time and kind of rapping and singing, and I can't really play guitar well, so it's tuned to drop D, and I'm one finger noodling it, and Sam's filling it in and holding it up because clearly I couldn't. And John and Sam, it was a magical thing, the two of them, and I felt like this is it. This is it. This is what I've been looking for. And Sam had this thing about him where anything I could spit out of my mouth, try this, we'll do this or this, Sam could do it, and do it 1,000 times better than I could hear it in my head. And also Sam and I shared an affinity, a love for, grunge music. That's something that we were both really on the same page about. Sam really loved Mother Love Bone and Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots and that whole Seattle grunge movement, and he had this kind of ability to pull this beautiful sadness out of the bass that I'd never heard. I mean, he would play chords and the way he just so talented. I can't explain. I know I'm all over the place here. I just, thinking about him, and it's so tragic that he's not here right now. And I've gone through gallons and gallons of tears since yesterday, and I'm thinking, my God, Sam's a legend, He did it. He lived it. With Limp Bizkit, we've just been on such a journey. It's been a massive roller coaster, and it's here we are just having this incredible moment, man, and it's going so beautifully smooth, and Sam was just really, really happy about it. And rock stadiums together, been around the world together, shared so many moments together, and I know that wherever Sam is right now, he's smiling and feeling like, man, I did it, and man, did he do it. What he's left us behind is priceless. He's such a special person, and Sam's a very private person too. So the few people that were able to be close with him and around him know what I'm saying to be true. He's a very, very special, genuine person. And when he got on that stage, it's that Sam I am, that Sam Rivers came out, and just he's a beast, just an amazing, amazing person. And when I think back to how I met him and how all this kind of came together, Sam was the first guy, that really, came in and helped make this dream come true. And he didn't think twice about it. He was just like, yeah, let's go. Sounds great to me. Let's do it. And, I was 25 years old and he was 18 years old. And, young, and just had all that fire in him and all that talent. And, I just knew that I was very, very, very fortunate to have him in my life. And I'm so grateful, so incredibly grateful to have shared, part of this journey with Sam Rivers, a huge part of this journey, huge part of my journey. I'm super, super grateful, and I miss him terribly already. And all the support and love out there I've seen online, it's overwhelming. He really did have an impact on the world, and his music and his gift is the one that's going to keep on giving. And I just love him so much, and thank you guys.
So yeah, there's a lot there to digest. I really appreciate Fred Durst being able to get through that. A lot of people losing a brother like that, really, a guy that's had, 30 or so years of history, and not breaking down to be able to get a video in like that for the fans to see and to hear about what Sam Rivers meant to him. Truly amazing. And maybe it just hasn't hit him completely yet because it's only been less than 24 hours since we heard this news. Man, rest in peace to Sam Rivers. I did a video reporting on this last night, and I talked about my fandom of Limp Bizkit, but there's definitely a lot in that video that truly I'd never heard before, and it's awesome to hear it from Fred Durst in these unfortunate circumstances, however. There's very few bands you could talk about that have stayed together over the course of the years with those original 5 guys, or in some cases with other bands, original 4 guys. I mean, we recently lost Ace Frehley, and it's been 25 years since Ace Frehley played in Kiss. Maybe a little bit under, really 25 years since the original band all played together. But Ace lasted, I think, a couple more years. Peter came back. With Limp Bizkit, they did go through lineup changes. You may remember when Wes Borland, really the second most recognizable member of the band, left for a little bit. And a lot of fans didn't accept it. And then they had a little bit of a resurgence there. And now they're still playing massive shows up until recently, and there's almost this new metal revival that has gone on with bands like Dropout Kings. Unfortunately, we have lost Adam Ramey, another guy, far too young in his case. But yeah, it was awesome to see a band that still was able to get back together with those original 5 guys and do what they do best. And I got to see them, as I spoke about in the video reporting on this, at Mohegan Sun a couple years back, and I also saw them way back during the $3 bill y'all days when I was just a little kid. So it's a band that really meant a lot to me, but I appreciate Fred putting out that video. We still don't know exactly what happened here. There's speculation. I saw on TMZ they talked about Sam's alcohol abuse and getting a liver transplant. But I can't speculate too much because I have no idea if that has anything to do with the circumstances of his death. So I'm not going to go on hearsay, but that's a possibility. I'm sure we'll learn more. With that, rest in peace, Sam Rivers. You'll be missed.